Thank my good friend for yielding. Mr. Speaker, the State Foreign Ops Bill under consideration today continues and strengthens the President's Emergency Plan for AIDS Relief, or PEPFAR, for another year, fiscal year 2024, ensuring that critically needed medicines, including antiretroviral or ARVs and other life-saving interventions, are available to those who need them in Africa and elsewhere. Special thanks to Chairman Mario Diaz-Balart and the Committee on Appropriations for insisting that the noble purpose of PEPFAR not to be compromised or undercut by integrating and merging other agendas, including and especially the promotion of abortion by massively funding pro-abortion foreign non-governmental organizations and even instructing them to repeal pro-life laws. To that end, the new State Department bill reinstates the Protecting Life and Global Health Assistance Policy, also known as the Mexico City Policy. Sadly, upon assuming office, President Biden repealed Ronald Reagan's old Mexico City policy, when it ensured that PEPFAR's over $6 billion a year in taxpayer grant money wasn't subsidizing foreign NGOs that perform or promote abortion. Biden's PEPFAR core program, and this needs to be underscored because some people say, oh, they're not doing it. It says they will promote protecting and sexual and reproductive health and rights, including the ongoing rescission of the Mexico City policy. The executive director of UNAIDS, a prime PEPFAR partner, composed of WHO and the UNFPA and other UN agencies, welcomed Biden's repeal of the pro-life policy, saying that it showed his commitment to abortion rights. Mr. Speaker, a June 6th letter signed by 131 African lawmakers and religious leaders, including the Speaker of the Parliament of Ghana, implored Congress not, I say again, not to exploit PEPFAR to promote abortion, stating, and I quote in pertinent part, "We want to express our concerns and suspicions that this funding is supporting abortion that violates our core beliefs concerning life, family, and religion." Most of the African countries are solidly pro-life, and they are under siege by the NGOs that we are supporting. Mexico City helps to ensure that that doesn't happen. They even went on to say, we ask that PEPFAR remain true to its original mission and respect our norms, traditions, and our values. We ask that those partner organizations with whom the U.S. government partners to implement PEPFAR programs are cognizant and respectful of our beliefs and not cross over into promoting divisive ideas and practices that are not consistent with those of Africa. Last year, I remind my colleagues, showing no doubt of the pro-abortion goals of this administration, they announced a sweeping new radical policy known as Reimagining PEPFAR's Strategic Decision. And they use the word, it integrates sexual and reproductive health and rights, and of course that means abortion with HIV/AIDS work. Mr. Speaker, in a recent op-ed, former Speaker Newt Gingrich wrote, and I quote him in part, "It is incredibly disappointing but not surprising that the Biden administration has hijacked one of President George W. Bush's greatest accomplishments, the President's Emergency Plan for AIDS Relief, to provide abortion on demand in the developing world." He continued, "President Biden's insincere and demonstrably false claim that PEPFAR isn't pushing abortion on demand in Africa and elsewhere collapses under any serious scrutiny of its partners." They say they're not doing it. They are empowering the NGOs to do it. And just like in this chamber, House and Senate, all over the states of this country, we know it is the NGOs, Planned Parenthood and others, that tee up and promote very aggressively for abortion right up until to the moment of birth. Mr. Speaker, I strongly supported PEPFAR when it was created in 2003, and I was the sponsor of the reauthorization of PEPFAR in 2018. Regrettably, it has been reimagined, hijacked by the Biden administration to empower pro-abortion international NGOs, deviating from its life-affirming work. It's time we got back to the original noble idea for which there's a strong bipartisan, bicameral consensus, and that noble goal is to prevent this devastating disease, robustly treat and assist those who have been infected, and ultimately end HIV/AIDS around the world. Not supporting abortion, the killing of unborn children by dismemberment, chemical poisoning, and you know what does the abortion pill do? It starves the baby to death. That is its operation. They are trying to disseminate that all over Africa. Yield back.